Former media tycoon Jimmy Lai's national security trial adjourns to next Monday over medical issues as he needs to wear a heart monitor. Underprivileged residents, including the homeless, will be able to get more free and subsidized dental services from next year. And marking the 80th anniversary of its surrender in World War II, Japan's Prime Minister uses the word remorse for the first time in 13 years. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Cheryl Yun. Former media tycoon Jimmy Lai's national security trial has been adjourned until next Monday. This comes after the judges expressed concerns over his health just ahead of the closing arguments. The 77-year-old has a heart issue and needs to wear a portable heart monitor. Jamie Liu reports.
After court hearings were postponed a day due to the black rainstorm warning, Lai returned to the West Kowloon Law Courts building this morning on a prison van. Lai was seen wearing glasses in the courtroom and appeared thinner than before. As the three-judge panel prepared to hear closing arguments, Lai's defense lawyer Robert Pang requested that the Apple Daily founder be excused on health grounds as he has recently experienced heart palpitations and is suggested to wear a Holter monitor, a device to record his heart activity. Weighing in, High Court Judge Esther To suggested Lai that he could rest at any time he needs. Judge Susana Damada Remedios viewed closing submissions as part of the trial, which requires Lai's presence. The prosecution was also concerned, proposing to have a medical team on standby in the courtroom. Upon learning that Lai's heart monitor would not be ready until next Monday, To suggested adjourning the hearing until then. The defense then asked to begin closing arguments, noting all parties were present and Lai was exhausted by travel from prison. To reiterated that she did not want Lai to stand trial without adequate medical support and decided that the hearing should be pushed back until next Monday when Lai will be equipped with the monitor. Fellow Judge Alex Lee agreed as he expected the closing submissions would end ahead of schedule. Lai was accused of colluding with foreign forces and conspiring to publish and distribute seditious materials. He has denied the charges. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
In a move to further protect the oral health of the underprivileged, the SAR government announced an expansion of the Community Dental Support Program starting January 1st next year to include services such as dental scalings and root canal treatments. The homeless will be covered as well. Evelyn Bai has more details.
In addition to 4 existing services, the Community Dental Support Program will soon include these 4 additional treatments, namely dental scalings, root canal treatments, removal of bridges or crowns, and removable denture fittings. Each participant is eligible for 1 dental cleaning service and root canal treatment for 1 tooth annually. In terms of removable denture fittings, persons with fewer than 20 remaining teeth and assessed by a dentist as having chewing difficulties may receive the service twice, with at least 5 years between fittings. The program is also set to cover the homeless, who can be referred by registered social workers at designated non-governmental organizations. Eligible beneficiaries, including integrated home care services and enhanced home and community care services recipients, hospital authority fee waiver patients, and homeless individuals, will receive full government subsidies for administrative fees, with a co-payment of $500 per set of removable dentures. Other participants will be charged an administrative fee of $50 and $1,000 per set of dentures. Since the program was launched in May this year, a total of 1,892 people have received services, including 2,549 fillings and 906 extractions. Following this expansion, the Community Care Fund Elderly Dental Assistance Program will stop accepting new applications. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
On the back of stronger exports and improved local demand, Hong Kong's gross domestic product grew as expected in the second quarter, but the jobs picture showed some soft spots. The government maintained the whole year economic outlook at 2 to 3% amid trade risks. Evelyn Bai again reports.
The city's GDP expanded by 3.1% year-on-year in the second quarter, slightly above the 3.0% rise seen in the first quarter. The total exports of goods accelerated 11.5% year-on-year in real terms, supported by resilient external demand and some rush shipments in response to the temporary easing of tariff measures from the United States. Private consumption ended a four-quarter slump and returned to moderate growth in the second quarter, rising 1.9% year-on-year. Meanwhile, overall investment expenditure increased further by 2.8%. Inflation stayed mild in the second quarter, while the forecasts for the underlying and headline consumer price inflation rates for 2025 are maintained at 1.5% and 1.8% respectively. On the labor sector, the seasonally adjusted unemployment rate rose to 3.5% from 3.2% in the preceding quarter. The underemployment rate also edged up from 1.1% to 1.4%. Looking ahead, the city's economy is expected to keep growing for the rest of the year. However, uncertainty remains as U.S. tariff levels announced in early August are still relatively high, leaving tariff policy on some goods far from clear. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
Summer is peak travel season and Hong Kong has welcomed a wave of visitors, with tourist arrivals in July rising 12% compared to last year.
The Tourism Board reported 4.39 million visitor arrivals last month, a 12% increase compared to the same period a year ago. From January to July this year, the city recorded approximately 28 million tourist arrivals, also up 12% year-on-year. Mainland visitors led the way, accounting for 21.3 million arrivals, a 10% increase. Non-mainland visitors showed even stronger growth, rising by 16%. Short-haul markets saw a 12% uptick in visitor numbers, with strong performances from Japan and Taiwan. Long-haul markets showed even stronger growth, with arrivals surging by over 20%, driven primarily by travelers from the UK, US, Australia, France, and Germany.
A survey revealed that Hong Kongers are more likely to fall victim to scams compared to residents of the mainland and Taiwan. Surprisingly, those with higher education levels are even more vulnerable to fraud.
If you have been targeted by scammers before, you are not alone. A City University of Hong Kong survey conducted from May to June interviewed over 4,000 respondents from Hong Kong, Taiwan, and the mainland. Over 95% reported receiving scam messages, with Hong Kongers facing the most severe financial losses, as more than half of scammed Hong Kong residents lost over $100,000. The survey uncovered a surprising trend. Individuals with higher education levels are more likely to lose money to scammers. As for the most common lure, scammers usually use grab while supplies last deals, exploiting urgency to trap unsuspecting Hong Kongers, the survey found. The research team urged authorities to enhance targeted anti-scam education tailored to different age groups and education levels. They also recommended leveraging artificial intelligence to identify and disrupt suspicious scam networks, protecting Hong Kong's community from further harm.
Hong Kong has recorded a new imported case of chikungunya fever involving a 23-year-old man living in Sai Kung district. The man had traveled to Shunde district in Foshan early August and was bitten by mosquitoes during his stay. This brings the city's imported case tally to 9. Meanwhile, the disease continues to spread across the mainland, now affecting Guangxi.
In Qingshu district of Nanning City, 8 infections were identified, with all patients displaying mild symptoms. Mainland authorities have declared the Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region as Category 1 infectious risk area, the highest alert indicating an elevated risk of clustered outbreaks of chikungunya fever. This also puts Guangxi at the same risk level as its neighboring Guangdong province, as well as Zhejiang and Fujian provinces.
Today marks the 80th anniversary of Japan's surrender, which ended World War II in 1945. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba expressed remorse over the war at a national memorial service for war casualties, the first time a prime minister has used the term in 13 years.
In a ceremony paying tribute to more than 3 million war casualties at Nippon Budokan in Tokyo, Ishiba called the war a mistake and vowed to heed its lessons. We will never repeat the tragedy of the war. We will never go the wrong way. Once again, we must deeply keep to our hearts the remorse and lesson from that war, Ishiba said. This marks the first time a Japanese prime minister has used the word remorse at the memorial event since 2012, as the word was not adopted by former leaders Shinzo Abe, Yoshihide Suga, and Fumio Kishida, all from the Liberal Democratic Party. The ceremony began with 4,500 attendees observing a minute of silence, led by Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako. In his speech, Naruhito offered condolences to those who lost their lives in the war, expressed regret and hoped that the ravages of war would never be repeated. Meanwhile, Foreign Minister Wang Yi said Japan must face up to history on the sidelines of the 10th Lancang-Mekong Cooperation Foreign Ministers meeting in Kunming. Wang said certain forces in Japan today still try to distort history and downplay its wartime atrocities, urging Japan to make the right choice.
In a historic summit early tomorrow morning, U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin will hold talks on the war in Ukraine. However, the Kremlin stated that it has no plans to sign documents after the summit, warning that it would be a big mistake to predict the outcome of the talks. Jamie Liu has more.
This military base in Anchorage, Alaska, is where Trump and Putin will meet for the first time in 6 years. According to the Kremlin, the talks will begin with a one-on-one conversation accompanied by interpreters. Then they will be joined by members of the delegations, with 5 people from each side, including foreign, defense, and finance ministers. The discussions will focus on the resolution of the Ukraine crisis, current pressing international and regional issues, as well as U.S.-Russia cooperation in trade and economy. A source close to the Kremlin said it looked as if the two sides had been able to find some unspecified common ground beforehand. Meanwhile, Putin praised the Trump administration for making sincere efforts to end the Ukraine crisis. He also hinted that Moscow and Washington could strike a deal on nuclear arms control. Speaking to Fox News, Trump believes Putin will make a deal, yet the meeting may have a 25% chance of failure. Trump added that if the talks go well, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky could join him and Putin later in Alaska for a trilateral meeting, possibly with some European leaders. He also hinted at potential land swap negotiations, which Zelensky has opposed. In February 2022, Russia launched an invasion into Ukraine, which the Kremlin called a special military operation. More than 13,000 Ukrainians have died in the war and around 3.5 million displaced. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
Chinese e-commerce giant JD.com has officially completed the acquisition of Hong Kong's Kaio food supermarket, accelerating its expansion into the local retail market.
The supermarket chain, established in 1991, currently operates around 90 stores in the city with over 1,000 employees. JD.com confirmed it has established a new retail business unit, appointing Kaio founder Lam Hyung-ngai as its head. The stores will have a 3-day promotional campaign starting tomorrow and offering a 20% discount on the first batch of JD supplied products available in Kaio stores. A JD.com spokesperson stated that the acquisition marks the company's formal entry into Hong Kong's brick-and-mortar retail sector.
Let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng Index ended the day down 249 points. Top active stocks of the day, Tencent was up $2, Alibaba was down $3.70. Meituan was down $2.70, JD.com was down $4.30. Foreign exchange against the Hong Kong dollar, Euro 9.14, Canadian dollar 5.67. On to the weather now, mainly cloudy with a few showers, hot with sunny periods during the day tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 27 and 32 degrees. It will be windy early next week. That's our news tonight. I'm Cheryl Yun. Thanks for watching and good night.